and welcome, good Sunday afternoon, League of Legends fans. It's once again time for Risen Dominate Division this lovely day. Spooky and Dobby here to bring it to you. Dobby, we've got a bit of an interesting game, our matchup ahead of us here. We love Solbert against the winning formula. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe today they really do need to have that winning formula.
Absolutely. This is show up or go home time. Winning formula needs to win this series in order to get that final spot in playoffs. But I mean, they've got a pretty hard time ahead of them. Uh, we love Solbert here, sitting at 8-0, haven't dropped a single series the entire season so far, and have been pretty dominant in every one of their games.
Yeah,
So
this is
But I'm looking forward to it. Winning formula, got a good players on there. Solbert, he's only Emerald 2 right now. So, I mean, the storyline is there.
right, but he's already achieved the new rank. That's the goal for everyone, right? That's what everyone's gunning for these days. But no, I think you've really hit it on the head here. This is the Goliath. The winning formula is up against now 8-0, undefeated throughout the season. That does mean they've had all this time to analyze what We Love Solbert likes to do, how they play, and what they kind of want to do as we approach this draft phase. Do you think there's any big takeaways here that they need to apply, or is it all just on the rift?
Well, with everything that's happened recently, the meta shift, a lot of things are overly powerful once again. Even though these things have been nerfed recently, um, but I feel like an extremely powerful pick that needs to be either Solbert needs to pick this up. You got a blue one, Kaisa. It's so strong, and there's like no answer into it, and it opens up any other champion to be played around the map because she can go that AP build, or
Right.
the AD build, any hybrid of that nature, and there it goes.
Yeah. Much picked up right away. Tristana is the answer along with that Seraphine from the winning formula. I mean, it feels like they were kind of expecting this Kai'Sa lock to come through. That was a very quick pickup on the Tristana. I'm assuming it's going into that bot lane. We've seen some Tristana mids in the past, but they could build more traditional here today. How does this lane fare going into that Kai'Sa?
Well, it is one of the only answers into Kaisa, either that or Zaya. Both of those are good picks into it. Not necessarily because you're able to duel her, but mostly because you can jump away when she jumps in or alter away as she all-ins you as well. And having that Seraphine means she can be safe in her picks and or in her farming while the Seraphine pokes from long distance. But with that Blitzcrank, it looks like they're gonna want a skirmish, and if that Tristana doesn't get her rocket jump perfectly, that hook's gonna keep her locked in, and Kaisa's gonna get all the damage off.
Yeah, I mean, this is always a pretty telling sign when someone locks in the Blitzcrank. You're looking for aggression. You're looking for those picks, and you pair it with this Kaisa. I mean, you certainly have the damage to do it. It's very dangerous as well if this Kaisa is able to snowball in the early stages of the game. So really, maybe we're seeing some jungle presence being paid towards that bot lane, or do you think maybe that just gives We Love Solbert too many more opportunities to look for that aggression?
Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to do a lot with that Blitzcrank going into there. You're going the winning formula. They have Lee Sinners there. It's a really strong, aggressive jungler, and he'll play aggro to a fault. So he's an all or nothing type player. He will make the play, and he is one person that you can rely on. But once that mistake is made, he's more prone to make those same mistakes again in the same game. But you see WLS getting rid of the Rel, knowing it's still an extremely strong jungler, and there's already a lot of damage on the winning formula, so he can go net support style jungle.
Can I just say how much I hate that Rel is a strong jungler now? Like, listen, my buddy's been playing Rel support for ages, just hoping to get her buffed so she feels better playing support. They finally do it, and now she's just a better jungler, man. It just feels so weird at this point in time. But take a
I
quick
think
look.
that's like the beauty of Rel though. Like you can play her in either of those two lanes, and you're not really losing anything that the team would have. So if you have and that Rel opens up those enchanter poke style supports that you wouldn't normally have because you would still need that engage in that front line. But with the Rel being taken away, you're gonna have to find another answer here.
Speaking of the other answers in the front lines, I want to take a quick look at that top lane. Aatrox against Olaf recently saw some buffs come through, but hold that thought. Nautilus gets locked in, so Seraphine going mid then?
So Nautilus is also a rail type champion.
Oh
Strong
no.
into the mid lane, just able there to survive. You can play Nautilus in the jungle. You see it happening in the
Stop.
LEC and LPL. Like this champion is just really good all around. And to be fair, he was originally a top laner. The only
That's
thing I
true.
haven't seen Nautilus play is AD carry.
Well, we might see it today here. I mean, once you get the passive anchor root off, Hail of Blades just starts slapping away at him. I'm sure there's some kind of strategy there, right?
Um, ever I remember like 5 seasons ago, there was this song as a parody from Daft Punk. It was called 80 Carry Maokai. And I'm pretty sure you could do the same thing with Nautilus, just go full crit and like the one time you hit them, they're dead.
There you
But
go.
it doesn't look like that's gonna be what's happening here. And WLS have a really good, strong team fighting composition. They have both AD and AP, so it's very hard to build defensively against them. Uh, and a lot of these, and they scale very well into the later game.
Well, Karthus and Jace picked up for We Love Solberg, gonna be rounding out that draft over there. Guessing Jace probably in that mid lane, Karthus going to the jungle. And we recently just saw a couple changes to the Karthus jungle in the most recent
Mhm.
patch. How do you think he stands in that role right now?
I think that Karthus nerf is a placebo nerf. What does he lose? Like 2 damage in the early game and like some mana regeneration. But you're getting mana passive mana regen for being a jungler just sitting in the jungle. So he's not really losing much at all as long as he's playing that role. But it does look like with that Maokai picked in that Nautilus is going mid or the Seraphine. It could be either or. But it's really weird to see if that Nautilus is going support. It's really weird to see not a traditional counter engaged champion, someone that you want to play as an answer into Blitzcrank, such as either the Braum or the Leona. But if he is mid, it makes a little bit more sense. He's going to be tanky enough to deal with the Jace. You're also one of the core items that you build into that is the Abyssal Mask, so you'll have some very good magic resistance and able to do some shred as well, taking away theirs, allowing the Seraphine to do a little bit more damage because I do suspect even if she is mid or support, she will be going to a more damage centric type build.
Right. As those Enchantress supports tend to do these days. Man,
Mhm.
I just don't like supports anymore.
Mhm.
I like it when they're just this
Yeah.
beefy front lines, and you're just like, okay, so I know that they're gonna try to go in. I know they're gonna try to peel or engage. I just hate getting hit by the second mid while I'm just trying to last hit my minions at level 2. Just leave me alone, please, for the love of God. But looking at the
Well,
draft overall, I mean, you've touched on this Nautilus, you suspecting going into that mid lane.
mm,
How do you think that fares against the Jace, who's so effective at longer ranges?
well, I'm gonna have to eat my words because they locked in Tristana for mid, so it's gonna be a Seraphine Nautilus spot. Tristana is good into Jace, just because anytime the Jace tries to on you, you can Buster Shot him away, and being able to create that space kind of negates what Jace is trying to do. So that's pretty good. So the Seraphine is going to go that AP carry style build in the bot lane, which is a good answer in the case of, but if Seraphine is picked off by that Blitzcrank, you're you're not going to survive a lot of that damage.
Mhm.
And you don't have a lot of that early game damage to trade back, even if the Nautilus was the one pulled. So you're going to be playing a lot under tower, it seems like, unless WLS just completely misplays the bot lane. But Soulbird is a seasoned competitive player, and hopefully he's able to translate that into this game. I mean, obviously 8-0 going into this series. So I would put it at WLS's favor.
I mean, it's pretty hard to argue against that, right? Even if the draft was heavily stacked in favor of the winning formula, when you're looking at an 8-0 record, it is hard not to kind of give some leeway over to that direction.
Mhm.
One thing we haven't really talked about a whole lot is this top lane matchup, the Aatrox versus the Olaf. Both have pretty good sustain, both like to brawl around a little bit. Who do you favor here? Are you expecting a more of a neutral lane up and top?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with it's gonna be a little bit Olaf favored. He did get that counter pick in there. You're really strong. You're able to survive a little bit more of that Aatrox. And you rely a little bit more on the auto attacking than the Aatrox would. And as long as you're being able to Ragnarok most of the stuff that is happening at you in the CC lock, you're gonna survive it a little bit more. But you're gonna need some help. The Maokai lockdown is gonna be really good. Being able to just get onto that Aatrox, but they both have really good lifesteal. They're both really strong, and they're bruisers true to their name. So whoever is able to get that first kill will be able to translate it in snowball afterwards. So whatever jungle help they can get up there is going to do worlds for them.
It's a really durable team coming out from the winning formula. I mean, Olaf, really hard to kill. Maokai, great sustain, tanky, good CC. Nautilus, same thing there. I look over at We Love Solber, and it seems like this team is just a little bit easier to take down. Now, granted, one of them just keeps on casting even after you take him down, so maybe not fully eliminating the problem there, but is that the winning formulas in on this match? Can they just out tank the Solbert and just blow them up?
Well, like as because the Kaisa will go towards that AP style build. Even if you're able to nuke the Karthus out of the team fight, you still have to deal with the Kaisa being able to output a lot of damage. And you have the Karthus, Jace, and Kaisa, AP Kaisa, so you're gonna have a lot of poke. So the winning formula needs to go all in, or they're gonna be whittled down, and that tankiness will not matter once a fight comes out.
All right, well, these are the drafts. There's the analysis and breakdown for the game. But as always, Dobby, it's always more fun to see it happen in the game. So we're going to cut to a short break. We'll be right back. We'll see how this one plays out. Gamers, this is where it all comes down.
Welcome
It
to
begins to
Summoner's
break
Rift.
down for both teams here. Once again, winning formula has to win this match if they want to make it
30
into the
seconds
playoff
until minions
series.
spawn.
Going up against the titan of their division so far, currently undefeated. Dobby, we've talked about the drafts, but we haven't really talked about the game plan that needs to be executed to really find success against We Love Solbert. Because so far, no team has been able to find that plan. It simply has not happened. So, from your overhead perspective, from seeing
Minions have
both
spawned.
sides of the matches so far, where do you think Solbert's chinks in the armor lie?
Well, if this were a solo queue match, I'd say PayPal. But it looks like Solbert is not going that traditional AP build, going lethal tempo into longsword instead of Halo Blades. So it makes me feel like that the Kaisa isn't gonna go that poke AP carry build. So if you're able to just get rid of that Karthus in every team fight and just have the Maokai and Nautilus build armor, you're going to be able to survive these team fights a lot longer. And like you said in draft, it is a squishy composition. So as long as they're able to go constantly, like, they'll be fine. As long as Solbert keeps true to the not building the AP. However, both skill shots just miss.
Yes, an attempted aggression across the board there. Quality player. Find a little bit of poke onto Demo. In the bot lane, though, not a whole lot of success. Helper ends up taking the worst end of that trade. Always a little bit unfortunate when you go for the hook and you grab a minion and all of a sudden you're a lot closer, but you haven't locked anyone down. Just asking for free damage at that point. Well, we're going to see another one, though, but pull right back in. Helper has to flash on back out. Scorper, very low, ignites across the board there. Traded 1 for 1. No kills come through. Cleanse burned on Solver.
This is really good for the winning formula. Being able to burn that cleanse early allows for you to look for anything, and the next time they trade, it'll most likely mean death for Solbert. Just being able to CC lock her down, or him down, if you will, will do great. And you see Quality is being aggro in the mid lane, keeping Jace under turret. It looks like all of the lanes on the winning formula side have that early push, that early lead. They just need to be able to translate that well. And this should also give these Sinners time to farm up, because...
First blood.
Well,
Maybe not, because
maybe
Logitech just finds the first blood up in top lane.
yeah, a little too aggro over there. What was going well for them may not be so well anymore. I feel like this Aatrox with that able to 1v1ing him without any jungle pressure doesn't do good for Olaf.
Yeah, that does give him a little boost in that gold department as well. Going to put him a little bit further ahead. Now, granted, doesn't matter until he resets to use it. Sign me up coming back with the longsword. Hopefully try and take a couple more favorable trades there, but the way it's been played so far, can't expect Logitech is going to just allow him to beat on his face with the longsword there. Likely just going to play passive until he gets that reset off.
Right. And what like I said, like the Karthus was able to contest for that scuttle because they had no prio top. Quality is a little slow on his clear, so but looks like he's going for that gank top. However, Logitech still has that flash, so I don't really see anything happening outside of that.
Well, he's got himself in the bush there, but Logitech too far back, playing smart. Instead, Listener's just going to have to start the recall. Look for something else. Actually, he's stopping it. Staying local. Keep an eye on Birdo. He's also local on that side of the map. Diving his way up. Sinners going on in. Finding the aggression onto Logitech. But he's just whipping and diving. Sustain is good. Now Birdo comes in from behind, but the aggression turned on him. Exhaust comes through. Standing in the despair. Logitech comes in. Big double knockup. But sign me up has found Birdo. It's a double kill for the Olaf. Trades his life out, but it's a 2 for 1 in the top lane.
That's really good for him. However, Sign Me Up doesn't have that TP to catch that wave that will most likely crash. So you see Lee Cinder staying. But that's really good really good for Sign Me Up. Being able to get those 2 kills means he's right back into the lane, and the Aatrox lead is now null and void.
No, there's no passive in.
Oh, this got me. Yes. But because he was able to do that, he is back into it. He does have that early game bounty now.
Little aggression back onto Solberg here. Ignite comes through. Flash comes out once again. Solberg's too far away. Fossil Dyna now the target gets rooted down. May not have anywhere to go. Perky the Parrot has finally got himself a cracker. Puts that one down.
Really good, and able to immediately get that pull and onto Solberg. It happened right before the cleanse came back up, and then you just ran him down afterwards. He could not turn to help Fossil, and then he paid the price for it. But you see Logitech up there, got the early 6. It is ahead of the Olaf, pushing him in.
Yeah, now importantly, Logitech level 6, sign me up, does not have ulti available just yet. And I have to imagine some of these trades will look a little bit different once that Ragnarok is available, because that shuts down the knock-up, shuts down a lot of the lockdown. He may not get that opportunity. You cannot survive. Logitech finds the shutdown. Sign me up has to go back down.
Yep. Aatrox is just going to run away with it now. At this point, the winning formula needs to make a call, like, do we help Sign Me Up, try and keep him into this game, or do I just shift my attention somewhere else and hope that either Quality or Perky can carry the game?
Well, it feels like the right answer is to play your winning lane, right? I mean, right now, Bot is doing well. Perky and Helper have been able to find some really good pressure. But Quality is getting poked out, has to jump right back around. Flash comes through over the wall, but Demo found himself in the middle of 2. But how can you avoid that one? Weep and sing the Requiem. Birdo puts him down.
The absolute power of Karthus right there. And the more kills that he is going to get, the more difficult this game will become for the winning formula. Being able to get to those early game item spikes as fast as possible will make that Karthus impossible to kill. And even if you do kill him, he's still going to hit you for another 6 seconds and 8 seconds, and then just decimate your team in those team fights, especially around these objectives.
Yeah, it's such a difficult character to play around sometimes. I mean, if Birdo is getting ahead, you obviously want to kill him first in fights and try to shut him down, but because of that passive, all of a sudden you're still taking all that damage, and the more time you put towards killing Birdo, the more it would allow Solberg to just free cast. Luckily, we haven't quite gotten to any team fights just yet, so we haven't seen how impactful it'll be so far. But just from the way Birdo's playing right now, you gotta think that it'll cause some problems later on here. Sign me up. Really likes fighting Logitech. Recognizes he's too close to that tower, has to step away.
Not even just too close to the tower, he's also taking minion aggro, and he's not trading effectively. And he's also, like, behind, like, a certain item spike. Yes, he does have this damage, but that Iron Whip spike is going to do enough damage that it's just, you're basically taking another auto attack on repeat.
Lee Sinners wants to keep on going up in this top lane. Knockup is good. The second one won't connect. Knocked away from his third one. Sign Me Up finds the kill. Birdo is here, but not likely to step into a 1v4. Herald should go the way of the winning formula.
Yep, and they're gonna need it because Jace is just free hitting on the mid lane turret there. But it looks like they're gonna contest this Rift Herald.
Now over the wall goes Birdo. Demo going in, but collapses straight onto Birdo. Quality taking a lot of damage. Cannot find his way out. Finally jumps back out of the danger zone. Demo still looking to put some shots down, but realizes he's gonna have to walk away.
Yeah, that's a giant misplay from Birdo. He was like 3 or 5 seconds away from getting his Requiem. So if he just waited and then decided to engage, look at all of these low health bars on the side of the winning formula. Like, you missed opportunities there.
Oh, he's gonna come back up and drop the Requiem, but not gonna be singing for any losses today. Demo is hunting. Unfortunately, Helper's just not gonna be able to find too much. Helper goes down, but I think you're willing to trade out the support if you need to. Probably didn't need to. Could have just held the dredge line and pulled himself away, but
As a support player myself, we have this like mental of, oh, I'm sacrificing myself for the greater good. Even if it's not necessary, you can claim hero status.
Right. It's the mental card you can play. It's like, you know what? Sure, I died, but everyone else is alive. We might be grumbling. The rest of the team is looking at you with weird looks and squinted eyes, but as long as you can justify it, it's all good. Might not be able to justify this one, though. That is a pull into the danger zone. Dredge line creates a bunch of distance, but the Ignite is going to burn that life away. Should have tried to, I don't know, quash that fire.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been that far up alone. There was no prio in any of the lanes, and you're just walking into a funnel. It would, for me, that's free for the winning formula.
Oh, now we're looking at another fight here. It's a close one as well. Dodges the Q, and that means sign me up. It's not another kill onto Logitech. Neither one is able to really find an advantage up there. While the fights aren't quite over, Nature's Grasp comes through and it hits two. Here comes the quality player, and 1-2 fall. Demo still looking. Recognize he's not going to be able to find too much there. Still, though, Dragon already been taken. Nothing really for the winning formula to take here.
Yeah, they got the Dragon, and because they had that wave prio in mid and bot, they're like, let's invade, see if we can't get anything out of it.
Oh my goodness.
I almost succeeded right there, but trading 2 for 1, and you're just getting the support. Not really good trade whatsoever there.
Oh my god, so much damage. Sign Me Up was like full health just a minute ago. He is so low right now. The Requiem tries to confirm the kill, but Ghost does get this Olaf out of danger. You know, Dobby, I'm wondering if you're ever going to have an opportunity to, like, continue speaking, because every time you try, there's just another skirmish happening.
Hey, that's good. That means the viewers don't have to listen to me talk. That means there's something going on worth
I
seeing.
came here for you.
As much as I would like that, I'm pretty sure they came here for this, like, last chance opportunity for the winning formula to get into playoffs.
I put out a poll.
I get,
Well, it was all you.
Well, I want to see that poll so I can frame it and put it up right behind me.
Private property, I'm sorry. You can't be seen showing that.
I'll just take your word for it at this point, and I'm going to behave as such for the rest of the series.
But no, I do agree. This is a very interesting match with the stakes that are on the line right now. And so far, the winning formula, they've been putting up a good fight. But this is kind of a story we've seen time and time again, Dobby, where a team will get off to a pretty good start, but they won't quite be able to hold on to that lead that they get in the early minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Already, you know, you can see up on the graph there, winning formula leads in kills, but they're not ahead in the gold department. And while that's not a big enough differential to be concerning just yet, it is a little bit concerning that they haven't been able to translate those kills into a significant lead.
Well, every kill they've got has been at the cost of one of your turrets plates, so you're not getting a true net gain. And nice sidestep right there. And then on top of it, they're getting a lot more assists. It looks like.
Oh my god! Olaf is just such a gross champion, but it's like you just said, Dobby. They get a kill, but they lose a mid tower for it. They haven't gained anything there. And, you know, they don't end up losing a whole lot because Logitech is still worth gold. But you have to wonder, is that trade worth it? One kill for so much map pressure for Solbert now.
Well, if it's not worth it in the sense of gold value, but look at what happened in the team play. Like WLS, they sent 4 people to mid to take it immediately. It was already low because they were trading kills for turret plates earlier, so it was only about half health. They didn't answer with it. Sign Me Up just had the target of opportunity and kill logic. But the rest of the team, the winning formula, did not answer in kind. Quality had a dodge out of the way. No one else was in position. Perky was farming bot lane. And you see that, like, these rotations are happening, but, like, you would think quality, or not quality, the winning formula would be ahead in CS because they're in lane more. However, you see the Wheel of Soulbird, they're just dominating the CS charts, and like the only lead that the winning formula has is like 7 CS on the top side.
Yeah. Check and being run at. CC immune will negate the effects of that exhaust. He's gonna get out of dodge, no problem. But I though see a couple members up at that Herald, but the Drake should be coming up pretty soon. I can't believe that didn't pull him! Whoa!
Yeah, these newer Blitz skins have have a weird length to them that kind of doesn't match the animations, and that it's always shorter than what the animation looks like.
Hate it. Hate that vibe, but what I don't hate is seeing this dragon being looked at right now. Logitech, an odd spot here. Seraphine only comes through looking for 2. Only gets 1, but it shuts the Blitzcrank down. Logitech dashing and weaving, looking for the heals, and here comes Demo over the wall, and this is the Requiem for the winning formula. You thought you had a formula, but it was not the winning one. Instead, to be We Love Soulbird heading to this dragon and picking up that bounty.
Yeah, they got pincered really hard there. Not a lot of vision. Like, they had the vision. They knew it was coming in. It was just like, it just wasn't a good team fight. You didn't have the priority in the lanes again. The wave management is pretty bad for the winning formula. So going into the second game, if they want to get these better trades off, they need to make sure those waves are in good states for these objectives. Because now we're looking at a 2K gold swing. They're starting to build this lead. You're getting these objective bounties on the players, on We Love Soulbird, and we're just fighting in corridors. And like that's exactly what you want as Karthus.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Fossil flashed into Perky's ultimate, but that didn't ruin the team fight for him.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to note that We Love Soulbird had more people down there, right? They rotated Logitech down. He was there for the fight. And the only person with anti-heal on the side of the winning formula is Sign Me Up, who was notably missing from the fight, instead opting to just try to push down that top lane. I feel like if you want those fights to go better, you have to have that anti-heal online a little bit sooner. Perky does go ahead and pick it up now, but I don't know. Logitech's just too big of a threat right now.
Yeah, he's extremely strong. He's going to be able to heal through a lot of things, as he did in that team fight. And it also looked like Soulbird swapped. At some point, he did sell that longsword, and now he's going towards that AP build. His runes are just a little off from it. But now the winning formula has one less winning equation. Even if you were able to kill that Karthus, you're still getting AP damage from Soulbird. So your resistance building isn't going to be as easy anymore. So you can't just go straight armor and expect to live. Because you will need some magic resistance, because Karthus is extremely powerful at this point.
Yeah. Now, top lane has just traded the towers. Sign Me Up playing a dangerous game there. Lee is able to avoid that hook. Bot lane for top lane, not the worst trade in the world, but gold graphs are not doing any favors for the winning formula right now. It's still trending in favor of We Love Soulbird. And it feels like as this game goes on, something we're starting to see a little bit more of. The gold is starting to expand in that direction. This is some group play coming out from the winning formula. We are starting to see them come together a little bit more and start looking at these objectives, we've seen how the jungle fights go. How do these fights around the towers look for the winning formula?
Well, the winning formula doesn't have a lot of towers left. So what they need to do is they need to be able to do something that pushes the Kaisa out so that they're able to get a push in, open up the map, take away that mid tower. But if you're Silbert, if you're the winning formula, you can't just hide around your towers because you're so far away from objectives, especially now that Baron is spawned. And you got the third dragon coming up in about a minute. So fighting around towers, maybe not the best idea for them. And they just need to open up. They need to open up the map because right now Wheel of Silbert feels safe because they still have that mid turret. That means you're not allowed to do anything. And then with Silbert being able, with that static shiv, really fast wave clear, you're not going to get a good push on it. And we're not really prioritizing wave manager. We're reacting to Wheel of Silbert's pushes that are coming in, and we're just sending people top and bottom being spread apart. At any point, Wheel of Silbert can make a Baron push. And unless Perky is the one split pushing, you're going to have a bad answer.
Talked a little bit about gameplay, graphs, all that, but what I want to look at right now is some items here, because one in particular just caught my eye here. His demo has already picked up a Last Whisper, right? And we've talked about how tanky, how beefy the frontline is for the winning formula, but so far, I don't know if I'm blind, but I'm not seeing a ton of armor on any of the front lines. I mean, we see the plate steel caps. That's about it for me. Big shutdown onto Sign Me Up. He's just under tower for some reason. Explain that one to me.
How I think about it is Sign Me Up was trying to get that solo kill so that their team could safely try and cheese that Baron. But that's probably your game throwing play right there. Your most fed player unable to get that kill. Giving away Baron.
Catastrophic. Requiem gonna do some damage there. Not even needed. Finish off Perky. A pull back in is gonna send Kawali to the grayscale for now. And it's just one member gets to walk away from that. Not even walk, limp away with his anchor between his legs. Helper, the lone survivor. Support, not the one you want walking away.
Yeah, apparently that anchor does weigh him down. Not able to do anything there to help his team survive. But, I mean, Demo did KS Birdo, so, I mean, he didn't need to use the Requiem to secure that kill after all.
Yeah, you know, it's that better safe than sorry, right? Ends up a little bit more damage, and frankly, it's already, what, halfway done with this cooldown at this point. Probably going to be available for the next fight here without a problem.
True.
Where's the next fight look?
If I were them, based off of the cooldowns, I would most likely still take top lane. Getting that top push in so that you're able to get... If you're able to get that inhibitor, you're creating all that pressure top, you need to have an answer. And that allows you to go for that Dragon Soul a little bit uncontested, a lot easier because you have that out time. Like, the story of the game here is the wave management from We Love Silbert. They're prioritizing these waves, they're pushing them out, then they're going to these objective fights. And that's why you get Last Whisper on Jace.
Yeah, that is fair enough right there. Cyrilda's Grudge just chunks Sign Me Up down. That single shot there. I mean, what do you even do if you're Sign Me Up, right? You can't just run at him to close the distance. He's gonna try to run him to close the distance, but probably shouldn't. Taking way too much damage for that.
Yeah.
Now these Baron enhanced minions coming through. Perky is the target, nearly blasted down, but still alive. Fossil may not be able to say the same. Kowali returns the favor, puts him down, but this Requiem will shut Perky down and prevent him from getting back to the base. There's no healing there, and it also sends the rest of the winning formula back to heal up. So much damage at the press of a single button.
Yeah, just showing the proficiency Birdo has on it, it has to be a ban going into game 2. It's very hard to play into, especially when ahead.
Oh no, what a Zanya's to stop the aggression. Birdo just laughing his way up to these Nexus towers at this point. All the damage being put down. So desperate is the fight from the winning formula. Burning is Kowali, Sanya still alive, and a Seraphino just goes completely wide. There will be no encore today, and that may just sign the final death warrant for the winning formula. Big damage comes out from Logitech, the collapse is on, but it's just not enough damage to shut him down. Demo falls, but the rest of Sweet Love Solver is still standing strong. Kowali finds one, Perky finds another, and somehow, some way, this Nexus still stands.
Yep, fighting for their life right there, able to hold on, making sure Solbert doesn't get that easy lead of the series here. But you're fighting uphill both ways if you're the winning formula. You lost 2 inhibitors, and the only place you can like safely roam is nowhere. They have a lot of answers. Requiem is already almost back up. But just able to get these objective bounties, able to get those shutdowns, anything to help get their way back into it. But I don't really see a true win coming out unless they throw.
Oh boy, this is risky here. Ragnarok started up, diving past the tier 2 tower, just trying to create some space, but the teleport comes through, and now they have nowhere to retreat to. The tower falls, but they give up 2 for it. Oh, I don't know about that one, Dobby. That feels a little too aggressive for me.
Yeah, that was their last desperation play that they had available. They saw Solbert. They knew exactly what they wanted, but that cleanse coming in invaluable for them. And right now they're gonna push it down. They have 20 seconds on Lee Sinners. That's enough to at least take out that last Nexus turret.
Now, the last Nexus turret for sure, possibly more here. There's only 3 defenders alive. That turret is dangerously low already. It's not going to stand for long. It didn't stand at all. Now the Nexus is the target. Perky has fallen, not feeling too good anymore. And as the Nexus goes down, so too the hopes for the winning formula make it to playoffs. Dobby, not done just yet. There's only one victory for We Love Solbert. They have to make it 2. And we saw some certain signs of life from the winning formula. It just felt like those team fights, though, it just had nothing going for them.
Yeah, they were split up a lot of the time too. Their most fed player was never in the fights until the end of the game. But you saw what WLS did right. It was like they roamed together. They were really good at working cohesively as a team, being able to get those assists, spreading that wealth out, and just always making a counterplay somewhere else on the map to winning formulas aggression in the early.
And you can see why We Love Solbert is the Goliath that they are in this division. It's like you said, everything was done with intent. If they're losing on one part of the map, they're fine with that because they're making a winning play on another portion of it. Somehow, the winning formula has to figure out how they can match that same thing there. They have to make sure that whenever they're winning on one portion of the map, they're not giving up more than they're gaining. That's something we can only see in game 2, right?
Yeah, and they have to come up with a good answer here. I would like to see the Karthus band. It was extremely powerful and very hard to deal with. Um, and it kind of limits what they can do as AP junglers go. And then being able to focus out Solbert, like he wasn't exactly a power player in this game. But if you could just focus on that bot line, keep them behind instead of focusing top side, I feel like they have a really good shot.
Well, it's now up to the winning formula to figure it out, that equation, write it down, get it on the whiteboard. We'll see what they come up with after the break. right, everybody, the wait is over. This one could be the match that makes or breaks the run for the winning formula. Still Spooky and Dobby here to take you through everything that's about to happen. And Dobby, won't lie, winning formula off to a rough start. We talked about them needing a new equation. We talked about how things just were not working out on the map for them. I know where you stand on the Karthus, but that is going to be something that is adjusted to. That's taken off the board. Does leave this Kaisa up. Is there anything else, maybe on even the winning formula side, that you would like to see change?
Yeah, I would like to see a Zaya pick up here. It's a really good answer into the Kaisa. It's probably the only other like S tier AD carry I can think of outside of the Ashe at the moment. Tristana has been relatively a good answer if you want to go that route as well. But I'm just happy the winning formula was adjusting, got that got that Karthus off the thing, and now they're picking the Aatrox, taking it away from Logitech. Maybe we'll see him grab the Olaf and have a mirror matchup this game.
I like this little move here. If this is another comfort pick for Sign Me Up, then by all means, take it away, put it on your side. Show the other guy how it's done there. Speaks of confidence in my eyes, but does mean that we're leaving some of these bot laners still open on the board here. Like to see it, at least the ADC picked up here. Oh. Okay, is that ADC or is that mid? That's the question now, Dobby.
If that's mid, winning formula is giving away their opportunity to win this game. But just going back into that equation piece, I really would have liked to see the winning formula pick blue side, so they could have went for that Kaisa. But having that immobile AD carry versus anything that they can use to stun her up, really good. The Brahms Unbreakable is going to be a pain for MF's bullet time, but I can see the potential.
At least it's unbreakable instead of like a wind wall that would completely stop all of it, right? At least you have that going for you.
Yeah. But we see the Yone pick. Really good flex into the top or mid. I don't know how well he pairs into the Aatrox because you don't really see him in top a lot. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen him a lot in solo queue recently anyway.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah. But we do see that Rel locked in, and that could definitely be flexed into either that jungle or support lane. However, I do think it'll be very well into support just because it pairs well with MF. But I mean, what champion doesn't pair well with Rel?
Let me think for a second. I'm gonna say Teemo.
Nope. It would work. You stun them all, you have the magnetic force coming in, and you just lay down mushrooms, and they can't not step into them, so
Okay.
it works.
Let me try again here. I'm gonna say LeBlanc because she's banned.
Well, if we're going to change the rules of our game, you might as well just say Jet from Valorant.
Who's that?
Exactly.
No, I do
She's
agree with
broken
you
ninja.
there.
Yeah, but
Rel, very
really
strong.
good.
They're easy to pair with anyone here. Now move to the next ban phase. Still looking at that Wukong on the side of the winning formula. Not interested in playing against it.
Yep.
Mid attention being paid here from We Love Solbert though. Vex taken off the board. Is there anyone you want to see in this last ban slot?
There's nothing too particular that I can see getting rid of. Maybe a Silas ban so you can go Malphite top and just like all in that MF. But I don't know, they're just getting rid of Fiddlesticks. That's new for me. Really, it's still strong. It's annoying. It is basically just spooky Karthus.
That's me.
But but like at the same time, I don't know why you would ban it away if you want that champion yourself. Or it's the same similar playstyle. But we see these sinners going to a more carry centric jungler, telling them, hey, Get in my backpack. I got this.
Yeah, this Viego could be an interesting one. He's got some good targets to kind of transform into as well. If you can get that Heartbreaker off, turn into, say, a Yone, that's a lot of continued aggression for you, a lot of dive. I like seeing this pickup here, but Graves
Hmm.
is what we're looking at on We Love Soulbert. It's been a minute since I've seen Graves here. I'll be honest with you, Dobby. I've seen a lot of Yone. Yone's in like all my normal queues, all my rank queues. God forbid I try to play a solo queue game and don't ban Yone. He's going to be in it. Talk to me a little bit about this Graves and this recently buffed Zareth.
Well, I have the opposite experience as you do because I play with Graves all the time.
I thought you might.
But the Zareth is going to be strong. He gets an extra cast of his what is it? His arcane, his Rite of Arcane.
Mhm.
It is going into the mid lane. You're able to get more off. You have a lot more sustain to stay in there. So whatever you can, you just have to out sustain or just being able to out trade that Zareth. And I don't know what's good into that, but it looks like the winning formula has their own answer of Syndra. So, really good, able to negate a lot of the engage that they would have. Um, but like WLS is playing like, come at us, we want you to come at us. The winning formula is like, bet.
Yeah. Man, I'll be honest, Dobby. I really like the Zareth pickup. I'm a big Zareth fan. When I saw these buffs coming through, I've never been so excited to play League of Legends, all right? They feel so very good on him. Yes, they nerfed his base mana, but with the changes to his passive, you're able to stay in lane for a very long time now. 2 seconds off the passive every time you kill a unit.
Hmm.
Passive, as you all know, restores mana on hit. The fact that not only does he get an extra shot of that Rite of the Arcane, but it's also bigger,
Hmm.
travels faster, and technically does less damage, but let's be honest, with an extra shot and the stacking per extra bolt does more damage. I think
Right.
this is going to be a pretty tough mid laner to deal with.
Yeah, but what you got to do is you got to abuse them early. You have to
Yes.
make sure that Zareth can't get to that point where he's just running away with the game uh, because he has that distance. It'll be a little bit harder, but the winning formula does have the ability to go all in on him. But you're going to need to burn flashes to get onto him. And then you also have to worry about the Braum being able to stop your engage, being able to counter engage. Uh, and you're looking at it, and at this point you also have a lot of that hybrid damage on the winning on We Love Silbert side as well. So being able to itemize against that is also going to be difficult this game. But you don't have the same issue as getting 5-man ulted by Karthus.
Right.
Uh, you just have to worry about Zareth being able to hit you from forever away at
A
that point.
problem of its own.
Yeah. But thankfully, there's no such thing as scripting in these games, so the Zareth will not hit every shot unless he is just crap at this game.
Well, I guess that poses the question, how many resources do you put into shutting down this Zareth early, and how early do you do that? You mentioned you're looking to be burning flashes to get onto him and kind
Mm.
of bully him in the early. How many people are you sending his way?
I would send 3 people on his way every time. So as soon as bot lane has a push in, I would send that rel up the roam. And then the Viego comes in, and just being able to pincer that Zareth in and unable to play, unable to farm, I think that is the winning formula.
Well, to see how that one tends to play out there, but we've given this Zareth, plenty of attention there. We've talked about him a few times. What we haven't talked about is the Yone Aatrox matchup, which you kind of touched on the possibility of it earlier, but we weren't really expecting that until the Zareth got locked in. So
Mhm.
talk a little bit about that now. How does that matchup look? How do those trades look for Logitech on this Yoni?
Well, Yon's gonna have to utilize his ability to just snap back. So he's gonna have to go in, farm, get some trade damage off the Aatrox, and then snap. But I don't think he's going to be able to win the 1v1 versus Aatrox at any point. He's just a really strong, good blind pick top laner. Fills out the role of bruiser and can skirmish very well. And Logitech probably has it in him a little bit. Like, I lost lane to sign me up last game on this Aatrox. Maybe he has more proficiency in it and will do better into me since he just saw that Aatrox being played. I don't know the last time Logitech played Yone, but I know that probably not as recent as signing me up is on Aatrox.
Do we have a general consensus on how we like to say the names? Yone, Yanni? I personally like Yanni a lot.
I go Yone because it just falls off the tongue a lot better, and
I call him
it
one.
kind of effeminates him.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like him. So the less I have to say his name, the happier that I truly am in my heart. But fortunately, we must grin and bear it. You had to suffer through Yumi. I will have to suffer through this. Yon probably contributes a little bit more to the overall state of League of Legends than Yumi does. So at least he's got that going for him.
And they both start with Y. Like, why are these champions here?
See, this is why we like you, Dobby. You understand. We're on the same wavelength here. But one thing we didn't touch on too much is this Syndra as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she got a mini rework a while back. She's been in the game for a couple patches at this point. It's old news. But I haven't seen her a whole ton here. How do you feel about this Syndra pick?
I feel like it's just like a comfort pick. It's one of those things where you don't know what else to play, so you play that.
Yeah.
It's almost it's like Renekton, right? It's one of those tried and true. You're always going to be doing it, almost like Thresh. If you can't play those champions in your respective roles, then you're not actually that role, right? If you can't play Syndra, are you even a mid laner? So just having that comfort to go back to will probably be a really good answer, probably because there's not a lot of information out on these Xerath matchups yet because the patch just dropped a couple days.
Well, today I learned I am apparently not a very good mid laner because I don't play Syndra very much. So this is hard news to bear. I'm not gonna lie, Tommy, but I will eventually get through it. Maybe just add that one into the matches a few times here. I think Xerath should have an okay time. This feels like a neutral lane to me when I'm looking at it, right? Xerath has more range than the Syndra. He should be able to poke, but with proper positioning, you can just say, okay, you can either hit me or you can hit the wave. You're not going to get both.
Yeah.
Whereas Syndra can just kind of drop a little sphere and just kind of be okay with that. She can manipulate it wherever she wants. And with that push, does have some range contest this Xerath as well.
I think that's Syndra's winning game plan right there. Because when the Xerath charges up his Q, he's slower, he's easier to hit. So having Syndra able to land that stun will probably be how they trade in the lane. But it's also going to be how we need that setup to happen so that we can get hybrid and lead sinners or helper and lead sinners in onto demo playing that Xerath.
So we're going to start counting how many arcane pulses come from Fog of War to poke Syndra in the lane phase. We'll get to all that in just a minute. For now, we're going to hop to a short break. We'll be right back. Friends and neighbors, we are back with what could be conclusion of this match. Hopefully for the winning formula, it is not the case. If they want to keep their dreams alive, they've got to pull one out here. Still Spooky, still Dobby, but we are still as interested than ever to see how this one is going to play out here. We've got a lot of interesting matchups, some that we really haven't had the opportunity to see a lot of before. And well, we've done those to death, Dobby. We talked all through the draft phase about matchups. What I want to know now is how do we put these drafts to effect? How does the winning formula recalibrate from game one and change their actual game plan to find more success here?
Well, they were winning the early game. They were doing really well in all 3 lanes. Had the push, had the priority, which allowed these centers just to farm freely, no problems. But what they need to do is like temper that aggression. What really went bad for them is that they just went too ham too fast, and it cost them the game.
Well, speaking of going ham quickly, already we have a little bit of an invade coming out here. Lee Sinners being pressure away from the red buff. Sign me up, takes most of the damage there. Smite does come through, and it's from Birdo. Flash, flash, flash! Over the wall goes Lee Sinners. He's still alive. 2 flashes, a smite, and the red buff. Well, I don't know who I'd say that favors. Certainly the XP is in favor of We Love Solbert.
That is a net positive We Love Solbert play. Lee Sinners has to back, has no ability to farm his jungle safely. So what he needs to do is immediately get his bot side and then vertical jungle to even have a response. But if I'm Birdo, I'm ignoring my top side and then going straight to my bot just so that Lee Sinners gets nothing.
Sinners now trying to get through his blue buff, but the aggression here is onto Solbert, and the first blood comes through down on the bot side. Perky, the parrot, gets credit for that one. Sign me up. The level's down right now. Takes a slightly less than favorable trade against Logitech on that Yone. Well, it might be the way of the game right now. We Love Solbert feeling themselves after game 1.
Yeah, they went as hard as they could, and it's playing off for them very well. The Yone is using his Soul Unbound perfectly to farm and trade. Again, sign me up. You have Birdo invading immediately and burning summoners and then just taking away CS and farming. Doing exactly what he needs to do, prioritizing his bot side. Now, Lee Sinner has nothing. He's going to be behind very low. For a lot of this game.
And I think it's important to note, Sign Me Up, I don't believe, reset after taking that damage at that red buff. So, walked into lane, not feeling the healthiest at this point. Good on him for staying alive so far, despite the aggression from Logitech. See how long he can keep that one up, though. Good knock-up. But Soul Unbound is able to keep this Logitech alive. I hate that ability. You know that? Do you know that, Dobby? Do you know how much I hate that ability?
Almost as much as I hate Yumi's ability to just sit there and do nothing.
It's probably pretty comparable. It is a close race between the two. I think if we put it on a chart, you'd have to get a microscope to see the difference. Logitech, though, still feeling him pretty good about this matchup. Keep an eye, though. Birdo is in the river. Listener is a little bit further away. So far, not looking great for Sign Me Up. This could just be a kill. Double knockup comes through. Doesn't hit the second one. Here comes Lee Sinners, looking for the stun. It does connect onto Logitech. And here comes the kill. Lee Sinners picks that one up. And somehow, Sign Me Up still alive.
Really good. Lee Sinners able to go up there. I'm surprised he didn't roam up there sooner, but being able to answer is exactly what he needs.
Now the aggression keeps on flowing here. Solbert being pressured a lot in this bot lane. And something we saw in game number 1. They were consistently trying to push Solbert back into that tower, not allow him to really do much of anything. I can't say it had the biggest impact, though, right? Because by the end of the game, too, he's 2-0-9. Still impacting fights pretty well.
Yeah,
you see presence.
It was 209, and most of the damage he did to champions was from his static shiv. But just being able to make sure that he can't do that again, and getting Perky ahead with an actual champion that'll do a little bit more damage, and I think that's going to be helpful. And you see that Birdo isn't really paying attention to this bot side, and he's not going to be able to do much because Perky and Helper are just running the lane at this point.
Right? Skirmishes, really. Trades continue in the top lane. I guess it's kind of what we expect from these two champions. They just like to kind of fight each other. I think it might be more player-based than anything. We saw this throughout game number 1 as well. These guys like to trade. Neither Birdo
Sign me up. Loves to fight Logitech. It's like he was born to do it.
Let's take some good trades. Right now, the winning formula being forced back, likely wise to Birdo's presence here. I'm not going to allow him an opportunity to find that gank, but keep an eye. Lee Sinners also in the area. Doesn't have a blast seed to get over, though, so not going to be able to just jump into Birdo here. Drake does get started. It feels like the winning formula knows what's going on here. Use the sight seed here, get some vision down. Here comes the bot lane. They're looking for the aggression. Lee Sinners for a stun, charging it up, finds it onto Solbert. Lots of damage. The lockdown is good, but Perky the Parrot hasn't finished it just yet because quality player comes in with the stun, finds the kill, and now this dragon should be going the way of the winning formula.
Yeah, that was really good play there. I don't know if they were talking. You saw them ping out the Kaisa flash that had the timer on it, so they knew exactly who to focus in that team fight. And getting that immediate trade allowed them to get that first dragon. And they're up 4-0, 2K. This is a completely different game than what we saw in the first.
This is a more tangible lead than anything we saw from them in game number 1 here. Question still remains, right? Can they hold on to it? Can they extend it further? This is a good first step towards that. Game 1, the later things went, the more things started to slip away from them. Oh, comes out from Kawali there. Unfortunately, not able to get that kill just yet. No execute online right now. So far, that's just a big tool down.
Yeah, but you're just pushing Demo out, not getting that farm. He's going to have to burn the teleport. And then, yeah, they're not playing around the mid lane, but they are hyper-focusing this bot lane, doing good things, and just stopping WLS.
Oh, and here comes Lee Sinners looking for some aggression. Oh, the right of the arcane comes up, though. How long can you hide? But it's the Kawali player. Who's the next target? There's one more shot. Not going to go for it here. Yeah, it looks like it's just a reset coming through for the winning formula. Actually, they're going to stick around for this red buff. Wow.
Yeah, they got this mid lane push. You have those two being pushed out. This is probably early Rift held for them, which is good for WLS. They need it to get back into the game and to open up the map a little bit more and get some plays.
Base seal comes through, but it's right into the World Ender. The CC is good, though. So many knockups coming through, and Logitech finishes that one off. Sign me up. Could not find the healing. He cut down.
Yeah. But you see Lee Sinners going up there immediately to trade the kill, but...
Oh, Heartbreaker available, though, and with Fossil Dyna here, I'm looking to turn things around, but no.
With Fossil, I'm definitely looking to kill Silver right here.
Oh, for sure. Solbert under the tower. Bullet time comes through, but he gets out of the major damage. Still will end up falling. Perky the Parrot and will walk out of this one with his life. And this is kind of what we were seeing from Solbert in game 1, right? The winning formula makes a play on one end of the map, and then Solbert just goes ahead and does something on the opposite side. Now we're seeing that flip, and it's working well for the winning formula.
Yeah, and then you see We Love Solbert's namesake just not doing so well, so it probably might be affecting the rest of the team here as we go into the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think if We Love Solbert is on blue side, then it is likely We Hate Solbert that is over here on the red side as well. The constant aggression has just been a little bit too much for him to keep himself alive from. But it's not the end of the world just yet. Still pretty even when it comes to the CS, 75 to 79. And that's largely true across the board until you get up to that top lane, where you see Logitech 71 CS, Sign Me Up only has the 59. Slight lead happening over there. A little bit of a trade happening in the mid lane. Quality finds the kill with the unleashed power. Trades don't stop just there in mid. There's still fighting happening up in the top lane. Logitech once again taking the better end.
Yeah, really good there. Able to stop doing exactly what you need to do as Quality to punish that Xerath. As soon as he starts charging up his Q, you immediately stun him, you get that kill, and you see them immediately answer as Birdo kind of gets out of position here.
Oh yeah, Collateral is not going to get him out of danger there. He's going to go ahead and fall, take a shot from the tower, and right now, We Love Solbert is struggling to keep their footing in this game. The lead is starting to extend a little bit slowly, but certainly surely. They're now pushing the 3,000 mark, and you can see Easterners pinging that map. And oh my goodness, what a bullet time from Perky the Pair. And you said it in draft. These two pair well.
Yeah, and they're able to execute it. For some reason, Solbert flashes out of the Unbreakable, so he's not getting that reduced damage. Understandable, you're probably not living there anyway, but keeping that Summoner for a later team fight would probably have been better. But it looks like they're going to get this first tower here in the bot lane at 12 minutes. Probably translating that straight into their second dragon, and then just being able to rotate mid, maybe get another plate or two. Before this 14 minutes comes up. We're at 4K right now on gold at 12 minutes. Like, this is the largest lead they've probably had against a top tier team in the entire season.
This is an odd look for We Love Solbert. This is them struggling. I don't know if maybe they're just trying some new things out with the Xerath in the mid lane. But so far, their pieces are not coming together. I think there needs to be a little bit more attention put towards this bot side. And they have the tools for that, right? Demo on the Xerath can rotate halfway to the bottom side of the map and just press R and start raining some artillery down. On the mid lane, keep an eye. There is some grouping happening here. Demo has to flash away, and Helper is on the chase. Walks into Birdo. Fossil Dyna here as well. Lots of damage being put out, but most of it is going to We Love Solbert. Right in the arcane at point-blank range, but you get stunned out of it. You cannot finish the damage. The kills do not come through for We Love Solbert, and this is 1-11 on the scoreboard now.
Yeah, this is not only great for the winning formula, but like any team who wants to beat We Love Solbert going into the playoffs, like this is literally what everyone needs to do to win.
Ooh. Killer Instinct does get used there just for the shield and the mobility. Meanwhile, up in top lane, they sealed. Not over there, it's not, but yeah, you will still get the kill.
Yeah, the Soul Unbound back damage, activation damage, whatever you want to call it, still shreds Sign Me up there, but just whipping his ultimate there makes me feel like the late game fights aren't going to go in their favor if he's not able to land on a target like that. How are you going to land it on the mobility champions that you see on the rest of the side of winning?
I kind of feel like he was maybe expecting Sign Me Up to kind of dash, and he was trying to read that, but unfortunately that is not what ended up happening. So gets the kill, so it's not the worst thing in the world there. Man, I hate Soul Unbound so much. Can you believe how many things that ability just does for free? So much move speed. Cleanses when he reactivates it. Has a bonus execute mark. It's like, man, I'm gonna keep going on a tangent about that ability if you let me, Dobby. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna send it over to you.
But it is, but that's what makes that champion so versatile and good to play into this. Like, you're able to dodge out the Aatrox there and just punishing it once.
So, what have we learned here, Dobby? What did we learn on that one?
Well, all I know is that if I'm on the winning formula, the person I need to focus in team fights is Logitech. Because the rest, like, he's 3-1. All his kills are solo kills. Everyone else is just dead. No impact on any of the other champions in the game. And then sign me up. All he has to do is survive and like keep getting up there. But the rest of the team needs to. The rest of the winning formula needs to punish. So they need to press this advantage and do something with it, so that they can finish this game before it gets too late.
See, what I learned was that if I'm 2 levels down and 2k gold down on my direct lane opponent, I shouldn't be taking fights with them. However, the winning formula is certainly looking for some fights on this one. Demo just gets cut down instantly. And where's Fossil Dyna gonna go after that, right? He's just gonna become a fossil himself. It's in the name. And
Yeah.
we're just living up to it here.
It's the fastest way to get back to Fountain. It was tactical. So,
You gotta wait 20 seconds now.
what I don't know what they need to do to get the rest of them back into it, but except through playthrough Yone. And if Yone is not going to be a part of the team in any facet, We Love Solbert should just surrender here, go into game 3, fix these mistakes that they just gave away all these kills in the early game for free. But we have the winning formula coming in. Let's keep that wave management control good. You got the next dragon spawning in 20 seconds. And then just anything you can do to snowball even further. And this is a pretty decent soul to have.
Aggression coming in. Birdo is the target, and he's just gonna have to flash, but can he even get away? It doesn't look good for him right now. Sign me up. Just gonna dash forward and catch that one.
Yeah,
That's just one more kill.
Getting Birdo for free there, and Logitech is doing what every solo queue player does when they're the only one not losing. They're just playing the game.
Push.
They're just playing their own game.
I mean, it kind of feels like that's the only thing that can be done right now, right? You've got a gold bounty there, so you might as well go ahead and try to collect it here. Fate Sealed comes through, but you're under tower at this point. You're gonna give that one up, my friend. Oh, Logitech. A little bit ill Logitech right there.
Yeah.
Taking that fight out of the tower.
Like, I don't understand. I know you want to keep your lead ahead. You think you can fight Sign Me Up, but like, you're under tower. You're just taking all this free damage, and then like, Sign Me Up is no slouch. Like, he knows what he needs to do. He's just not winning the 1v1s, but with a tower, it's a 2v1.
Yeah.
And that damage stacks. You're a squishy player. Even with, and I think you just finished Hullbreaker, so you've pretty much resigned yourself to playing split push at this point. So
he does that, yeah.
So he just doesn't want to be a part of the team. And to be honest, not the worst call, because he's the only one doing anything on the map. So he's like, I can do it, just follow me. But we'll see how that translates throughout the rest of the game, because if you're not helping your team in this team-oriented game, you're not winning this. You're not winning this game.
At this point, it's just more of a, I know what to do, just don't follow me. Ping, 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 I'm hunting alone. I hate that text bit so much, you never understand. But yeah, Logitech just trying to collect these gold bounties, these objective bounties on the towers right now. And it's certainly one way to get some gold to your team, but looking at the deficit, 6,000 in favor of the winning formula. A couple towers isn't going to make that up. You've got a long way to dig, get yourself out of that danger. These centers take some extra damage here. Okay, we just fight under towers now is how we do things. And it's not working. It didn't work the first time, it's not working the second time.
I think Logitech might be tilted now after that solo kill to Aatrox in the top lane. But we'll see what happens going further. But I feel like they're gonna lose it out here on the top side as well.
Oh, that's a big shutdown, though. That is 650 the way of Birdo here. I mean, they do lose some in the top lane. Demo goes down there, but frankly, if you're picking up a 650 bounty and just losing your 0-3 mid laner, it's not the worst thing in the world. Foxendina now the target. And now things start to get a little bit worse here. Big collapse, big pulls from Helper. Godlike is Lee Sinners. There's just not a whole lot that they're able to do here.
Yeah, you really don't have an answer. That minion wave's coming in. You're going to be able to get that turret. They're so far ahead, they might not even need to back here before they fight again.
Oh, right in the arcane. Oh, it's a shutdown, baby. We love right in the arcane. That's Xerath for you. That's the value pick right there. Now, there's a question to be had, you know, is it worth resetting Demo's gold value for that kill? Time will tell, I suppose.
Probably not.
Nope, it was not. That was a question answered very quickly here. Foxendina will go right back to the grayscale after just coming back.
You might hate Young, but I think WLS hates Viego.
Yeah. I think they've got some Viego bias by the end of this one.
Yeah, I think going into, I'm really excited. We're most likely going into the game 3. This, like, there's no way they're going to lose this out. They're going to get Baron here. It looks like they're zoning out Birdo very well. And then, going into game 3, the Karthus should still be a ban, but I think Solbert needs to answer with the Viego ban themselves. Oh, that instant delete.
That was way too much value off of just 2 uses of the Darkened Blade. I mean, with Baron here, there's just so much damage, so much pressure on this map. At this point, it really feels like We Love Solbert has to hope for a misplay from the winning formula, because we told them to go back to the whiteboard and recalibrate the equation. They've done it, and they have found one hell of a formula right now. Logitech finally gets one, but it's gonna come at the cost of its own life. It's a near ace. Foxendina has limped back to his base. Cannot save the inhibitor tower. Likely not able to save this inhibitor either. I wouldn't be surprised if the winning formula tried to go any further past that. They recognize that they don't want to throw anything that they've gained so far. So they take the objective, take the Nexus, not the Nexus, good lord, the inhibitor, pull back to safety, get themselves a dragon, and that is actually soul point there. Dobby is Chemtech Drake now for the winning formula.
Yeah, the winning formula, they're like, all they have to do here is just group up and push down, and they can end the game. It doesn't matter what lane they choose. I would personally go bot side so they don't have to fight through those 2 lane turrets. But with nothing coming up for the next 4 minutes, might as well just go for these turrets, push them out, win the game, and then get into game 3. And hopefully they're staying on red side because they have the answer. And they wanted that counter pick, and it's worked beautifully for them in this game.
Yeah, Viego now 10-0. Lee Sinner is putting some major work. Fate sealed, but whose fate is it? It seems to be Logitech's fate. He's gonna get cut down. Legendary. It's Lee Sinners 11-0-6 at this point. This might just be a walk down here. Take a look. Sign me up. Is in the base, ready to pressure. It's a full shift. The winning formula potentially looking to send more bodies in. But look at how desperately We Love Solbert is trying to defend against Sign Me Up right now. It's just giving this tier 2 up for free and allowing so much more gold to flow into the pockets of the winning formula.
Yeah, I think the winning formula is trying to send like a psychological message to Solbert here and be like, hey, we know you won game 1, but look at what we're doing to you in game 2. You don't, like, anything to give them an edge going into the 3rd game. Like, this is their playoff spot on the line, and they are fighting tooth and nail for it, and it is in such domination in this game. And, like, they were doing very well early game 1, they definitely fixed those mistakes going into game 2. And I'm super excited how game 3 is going to play out.
Now, here's the biggest question, Dobby, right? Is it a case of the winning formula? Okay, that's a flash. Is it a case of the winning formula fixing their mistakes? Or is this a case of We Love Solbert making more of their own?
Well, Solbert definitely made a lot of mistakes. I think they were a little overconfident going to this game, so they picked things that don't really have a lot of synergy together. But like, and it's paid off, and it hasn't paid off for them. So they're probably gonna go back to what worked for them in game 1, minus the Karthus. But I feel like that ban alone completely demolished everything that Solbert had going into this game.
Now, we're looking at the base pressure here. Perky take a little bit of damage, not too much just yet. Unfortunately, Demo just doesn't have items online. Spike trying to go for the Raptons here, not doing a ton of damage. Still, have to keep an eye on the poke damage coming through, right? Got 2 inhibitors down. Got Logitech split pushing the right side of the map here. But in 2.5 minutes, we have an Elder Drake that will be coming online. And it's a question of how hard can you fight at a 12k deficit, right? You're likely giving the Baron up. You can't show up to that one, because if you fight there and lose, I mean, you're just not going to succeed on the Elder Drake. At the same time, if you give the Baron up, how do you fight against a team that's 12k up with Baron around the Elder? Like, it's such a catch-22, it feels like.
Yeah, you gotta hope to get some picks off in the side lanes, do anything to create that numbers advantage, because these champions are so far ahead that the only way you're gonna have an even fight if it is 4v5.
I respect Timmy up trying to look for that 1v1, just testing his luck, see if he could do it this time. Didn't work out. Burns the flash, burns the ult. Doesn't mean Logitech is not here for base defense either. It kind of feels like the winning formula is just kind of poking and prodding at the space without really wanting to commit to it. Logitech has a lot of space here to go for these objective bounties, and once again is fighting under tower, taking too many tower shots, and taking a losing trade. At some point, you know, you recognize that the second verse is the same as the first.
Yeah, at this point, he's just singing a chorus. That's his 3rd attempt, and it was not as large of a fail, but not being able to prioritize that lane and wave because you just decided the turret dive. It just opens up the rest of the map for the winning formula. And we see them immediately translating into that Baron. It's been pretty stagnated here in the last 5 minutes. So hopefully this Baron is exactly what they need to end the game. Because they've been too hesitant to do anything, and you see these inhibitors starting to reset.
I think this is definitely going to be a play for the Elder Dragon now. They've got themselves the Baron, and it's pretty easy for them to go look for an end, but you get yourself the Elder on top of it. You start not even having to worry about 100 is zeroing someone, but just taking them to the execute threshold. The Baron buff can be a hard fight, but we love Solbert.
Yeah, like right here, I would be trying to fight and not even going for the Elder. Because if you win the fight, you can end the game. You don't need the Elder after you win the fight. There's no point in going for a 50-50. Because if they get that Elder Dragon, they're going to be able to shred you. Even if they're so far behind, that true damage execute is phenomenal for any team wanting to get back.
Yeah, they're just forcing We Love Solbert to step up to this. They're baiting them into this fight because they know that they can't just allow the winning formula to do what they want. Bullet time gets largely blocked by the Unbreakable, but it's still enough damage right at the Arcane, blasting through. It does find finally some damage, but how much have you had to pay for those kills? 3 4 are dead, and this is all that the winning formula needed to break this map open and destroy the defense of this Nexus. Your inhibitors will not inhibit the winning formula any longer. Kiss your towers goodbye, kiss your Nexus goodbye, and say hello to game number 3, because we are rolling to a 3-game set here tonight, Tommy.
Yeah, it's absolutely great that they did that. And while it did take a little bit longer here in game number 2, it was an extremely clean game from them. A lot of those mistakes, like we were talking about earlier, were completely shored up, and they didn't have any of those same issues going into the game. And you see, well, you probably don't see this, but Solbert only getting at 6,500 gold. He was only 200 or 6,500 damage. Like, the only person he outdamaged was Rel at 6,400. So I think completely destroying the bot lane, doing what you need to do, keeping him out of that fight, those fights, and is what you needed. And they executed that very well. Sign me up. Even though he was losing topside, he didn't lose the game for that. And he answered Yon every part of the game. And it was extremely well for them. And I think they need to keep that going into game 3 if they want this playoff.
Yeah, well, we've seen them put the pieces on the board where they need to, right? They've set themselves up to move towards victory. The last step is executing their plan. Can they take this all the way and bring themselves into their playoff run? Only one way to find out, and it'll be coming up after the break. right, my friends. As promised, we have returned to you. This will be the final game played tonight between these two. And frankly, the winning formula, I believe, has surprised us. They were able to come back very strong in that second game. I would call it a very convincing, dominating performance. You have to be able to repeat it, Dobby. So, what is the key here? How do they repeat that performance and secure themselves a position in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, they are already doing it. They got rid of the Carthus. They're keeping that away from Birdo. They took away Yone from Logitech. WLS, they're trying to answer back those same picks, but they have changed sides in the winning formula. They really want to sign me up on that Aatrox. They're giving away better priority picks just to get him a favorable champion. However, I do think the Fiora is a decent answer into that Aatrox. He's gonna have a little bit of problems up there.
Yeah, good mobility, good answer on the riposte to avoid the knockup and counter with a stun. I like this pick for Logitech here, but we could talk about the top lanes all day, all night, into next week. We can go back in time, talk about it last week if we wanted to. The fact of the matter is, Logitech was winning lane and didn't change a single thing in that game. He had no impact outside that lane and was unable to bring his team back into any of those fights. So, are we concerned about him having a favorable matchup? I would have to argue no. No, I'm not. I think that there are far more important things to focus on this map aside from that top lane. I think the fact that the winning formula took this Aatrox's more team fight oriented character away is the biggest win they could hope for in that top lane.
Yeah, and Fiora is a split pushing champion as well, so We Love Soulbird doesn't seem to be adapting their strategy from game 2, just the champions from the looks of it. The winning formula, keeping what they know best. They got that Rel and that Aatrox and that Syndra. They're not too concerned with the AD carry picks, it looks like. And probably just trying to force Soulbird onto the Kaisa, who has just been so unimpactful in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that they got the Rel back, if I'm being completely honest. I really expect that to be something that We Love Soulbird would take away from them, because when I think about the problems that they were having, this Rel really felt like a big contributor to that. But what We Love Soulbird does get is this Wukong going to Birdo. This has been banned away in both of the prior games so far. So now seeing him have this apparently comfort pick, it's got to feel good for We Love Soulbird.
Yeah, it's definitely good on him, and he has been favoring it a lot in this new season or split. He's doing such good work with it, and they're just trying to do anything to get him ahead and be impactful, because the Graves was not the answer. But Soulbird taking away that MF, but like we were talking about last game, Rel pairs well with anything.
Yeah, I don't think they're too broken up about not having the MF available to them. Would it be nice to repeat that combo? Yeah, sure, totally, of course. But we're also seeing a lot of patience from the winning formula towards that ADC role. They're not super concerned with whether this is, something they're going to have to pick away. And frankly, we're not even sure that this is Rel support. It could just be Rel into the jungle. There's flex potential here. And so it really feels like they're trying to wait and see what We Love Soulbird want to do before they fully commit to their bot lane.
Yeah, so they would have to either pick the support here, because if they pick the mid lane, we know the Seraphine is going, but they have to pick the support or carry. You don't know, because the Seraphine is flexed between all three of those positions, but you don't really have things that can flex back in those same three.
Right.
And that kind of allows the winning formula to be a lot more open in the strategy into their second phase. With the Renata, it kind of doesn't look like it's going to be a Seraphine bot. It just does not pair well with that champion at all. However, Renata is a good answer into the rel, just because she is a good disengage. And this kind of puts the winning formula off a lot of auto attacking champions, because just being hit by her ultimate
Feels bad.
it feels bad. But Lee Sinner's going back to the Viego, such a
Whew.
dominating performance. Here looking to get a repeat off of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that this Viego was allowed through once again with how convincing it looked. I mean, I think it was died 0 times that entire second game there. We will see the Kaisa for a third time today, but this time it's not going to go to We Love Soulbird. It's not going to go to Soulbird at all. It's going over to the winning formula. It's a nice switch up here for them. It's the first time they've gotten that prio pick, and they've gotten it in the last slot of their draft.
Well, let's see what Perky can do on it. So it is a Seraphine Renata bot. It looks like Demo really enjoys these artillery mages, and that's what he wants to do. But I don't know how it's going to translate well. It's the same issue. Yes, you're not slowed by your own Q, but just getting hit by that Syndra stun, getting CC layered into Viego and Rel, because once you're caught, you're not really going to get out of that. So you got to hope to do as much damage as possible. However, there's a lot of good combination ultimates on Silver's side. The only thing that doesn't correlate with the rest of the composition is the Fiora, who could come in and clean up after.
I really like Demo's champion pool right now. I'm just loving the champions I'm seeing from him so far. The Chase, whatever, that's fine, I suppose. But it has the same traits as this Vel'Koz, as that Xerath did. Long range, likes to poke. And this Vel'Koz, it does have a little bit better self-peel, I think, than the Xerath did. Just because it has the slow, the knockup, and, if they are within a certain range of Demo when he launches that knockup, it does push them back away from him as well. So has some tools to keep himself alive there. What I'm really looking at is the team fights, though, right? You've got this Wukong knockup into the Life Disintegration Ray. That's a lot of damage to come through, a lot of disruption.
My biggest concern with the composition from Silbert is there's no real sustained damage, right? Everything is poking and like burst. There's no consistent damage,
Right.
like there normally is when you have a carry or anything that conducts auto attack. For this, it's just spell after spell after spell, and if the winning formula is getting into a team fight and survives that burst, then they're going to be able to survive those team fights, just because they're going to be able to output more consistent damage over the course of the fight.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells. It's what Soulbert's all about here today, it would seem.
Yeah.
I'm for it. I do think there is some really good counter initiation coming out from the winning formula as well. Maybe not counter initiation, but just the raw engage potential that they do have, right? Quality being able to just launch a long range stun, catch someone out, likely by the Vel'Koz, who doesn't have a lot of mobility to get away from it. The dive from Aatrox and Viego, we've already seen how that's been put to use in that second game just before this. There's a lot of things to be mindful about from the winning formula, and it's now on Soulbert to make the adaptations and adjust and make sure they aren't caught unaware here.
Yeah, but the winning formula I think has the overall well-rounded and better composition. Soulbert, like, yes, they have this poke, they have burst, but like they don't, like we were talking about, they don't have that sustained damage. So like if you're getting all in by the winning formula and you use Renata's bailout and you don't have anything because your cooldowns are out, it's a wasted potential there. If anything, you're just grabbing Renata because she's really good at stopping engage, but you're not really utilizing the rest of that kit. I think the Braum was perfectly fine, but like there's just not a lot that synergizes very well with Seraphine since the Sona was um it just it kind of looks doomed for Solbert going into game 3, but who knows if I just cast Recursed it or not, but I'm gonna give this draft to the winning formula here.
We mentioned a little bit earlier in the day here. You could look at the drafts and you could say, well, X team has certainly won this draft. When you take a little bit of a zoom out and you look at the overall picture, Solbert is the one with the 8-0 record right now. I mean, that's hard to argue against. And maybe the pieces don't all seem to be there in this draft. Maybe it's just a case of, well, we're guaranteed first seed. Let's experiment with a few things. I'm not ready to write them off just yet. We'll have to see how these teams face off, how this draft comes together. Do that once we hop into game after this break. friends, we thought it could have been the previous game. We're here in game number 3. This is the game that makes or breaks the winning formula's playoff run here. Either they take down We Love Solbert and make themselves a way into the playoffs, or We Love Solbert shuts them down here and crushes their dreams alongside it. Dobby, I think the audience knows us at this point. We'll spare the introductions here. I'm going to jump right into things. It's do or die here.
Yeah, it's do or die, and like it kind of looks like die from Soulbird's side of the map. You're showing your hand by going heal Renata. You're not there to win the lane. You're there to survive it. And that didn't go so well last game. So as long as they're able to apply all this bot side pressure again and keep Soulbird out, he is on a more impactful champion. At least comparative to how he has played the matches so far. Just being able to land that ultimate and shield everyone will do wonders for his team. But the story has been Logitech versus Sign Me Up here in the top side. Like, these guys are constantly fighting, constantly skirmishing, and they're answering each other back and forth. But just Aatrox versus Fiora isn't exactly a favored matchup for either of them. It's skill-based, and just seeing how Logitech was able to split push last game, now on a split push champion, probably doesn't bode so well for Sign Me Up. But Lee Sinner's going extremely fast on the jungle clear, able to answer. Looks like he's going to apply some priority to the bot side of the map.
That's where it's really needed to be for most of this series so far. It's been a constant tale of Turkey and Helper putting the aggression onto Soulbert and Fossil, not allowing Soulbert to scale up, not allowing him really to do anything in the game whatsoever. So seeing Lee Sinners try to facilitate that a little bit, try to put himself in position to help out down there, I think that goes a long way to getting the winning formula. Another victory notched onto their belt here. But
Yeah.
Talk a little bit in the draft phase about this Fiora Aatrox matchup, or it feels like Logitech has a pretty easy time dealing with Sign Me Up here. And now that he's a more split push oriented character rather than the Yone, do you think there could be some potential for snowball there?
I think so. The Fiora scales really well the later the game goes on. And you have the potential to stop a lot of the engages with your repose. So just doing anything, as long as she's able to keep that going, Logitech is going to have the advantage from the top side. And we saw it early with the early game push already, and how he's dominating that top side matchup.
Didn't quite get that riposte off now. Logitech may be in some danger. Does get the dash, though, so he's safe for now. Across the board, we're just seeing aggression from the winning formula. That's been the case in all 3 games here. This is nothing new here. The Sinners forces the flash out from Demo as well. One more small victory. So teleport from Soulbert down. Flash from Demo down. Gotta think, Lee Sinners pretty much has his pick of the litter on where he wants to gank next.
Yeah, they're controlling this early game very well, doing everything they need to do to get ahead. The only thing they're not translating is kills, but getting that flash off a Demo is really big, especially because you didn't expend a flash. So now, if he's ever extended out again, you can go straight onto him and punish him.
But a damage there on Koali. A bit of true damage for his troubles there. So far, neither team really has a significant lead in this match. It is Gold slightly favoring side of the winning formula, but only by about 100 to 200, maybe the 150 range in there. That's pretty much nothing. You can sneeze at that comfortably. Eye on that jungle, though, as well. Birdo looking for a little bit of an invade here. Lee Sinners, you try to chase him out. Recognize it's a clone. Probably won't be able to catch him, and charging it up, flashes forward, does find him, and the first blood goes the way of Quality on the Syndra.
Absolutely no hesitation from there, able to punish Birdo, and Sunlock so long couldn't get his own flash off. really good for Lee Sinners, and he's going to focus on that top side. And you see Birdo heading up there. He's not going to get those Krugs that he's looking for.
He's certainly looking for them. Nothing there just yet. Birdo might actually end up with his Krugs after all here. Lee Sinners instead going to be opting for these Raptors. Likely going to meet Birdo here at them. Demo very low, but has an ultimate available right now. Not looking to use it just yet. Baiting him in ever closer. So, Demo actually finishes the recall. Not looking for any fights down there.
Yeah, but he's using the teleport to get back to lane. Didn't want to fight, and Birdo didn't even smite his chickens away. Lee Sinners got that camp away from him, and his ability to get into it, he's showing that, like, hey, I'm on Diego. This is my game to win. I will carry my team for this.
And across the board, really, the winning formula just has some comfortable gold leads over the direct lane opponents. The only place they don't have that gold lead is in this top lane, where Logitech is now looking for the fight. It's just going to be a disengage. Grand Challenge will find no value whatsoever. Just an ult for an ult up there.
Yeah, the trade of ults is actually really good for the Fiora, and you see the early Avarice Blade on her side as well. So just being able to negate a lot of healing. Oh, Avarice Blade. Wow, I'm old. Executioner's Calling. Being able to, yeah, it's an old item. It looks very similar. Okay. Being able to just like negate the healing that comes out of the Aatrox ultimate and being able to just keep him from doing anything.
Oh, big exhaust comes through here, but on support does keep Helper off of Solbert. Keep an eye on Lee Sinners here. Gets thwarted, not gonna be able to continue that aggression. Does pick up the pink ward for himself there. A little bit extra gold in his pocket. Get themselves in position now for this Infernal Drake. And now this top lane is lower and lower. Excellent flash! Keep signing me up. No, he doesn't stay alive! They trade 1-for-1 in the top lane!
So that's also really good for the Fiora. The wave is under his tower. There's no TP on Sign Me Up. Being able to trade 1-for-1 there is actually really good. But Sign Me Up, an extremely good outplay, able to immediately get out of the way and utilize his Darkened Blade to stun up the Fiora.
Oh boy, life form disintegration ray. Not going to disintegrate any life forms this time around. Quality gets to walk away from that one, but it's like you said, you know, Logitech has a very good read there. Excellent play. And the mechanics from Sign Me Up, though, they're on par there to keep up and have the response needed. And so far, this has not been an easy matchup by any means. And so far, it's just been a matter of how can you bait out the riposte from Logitech.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how they're going to be able to do well against it, but it looks like he's going for the 1v1, but
Logitech's very low. Like, that's just an easy kill for Sign Me Up there. World Ender certainly ended someone's world there today.
But you see Birdo waiting for the World Ender to fall off of him before he goes back into engage again. And if Lee Center sees this, he should go immediately into that dragon. Just trading his death, trading Sign Me Up's death for that very first objective.
Does get the plating as well here. I'm gonna go ahead and find some healing as well. It's actually a lot of damage being put back out. Not gonna be enough though. Shutdown comes through. That one goes to Birdo.
That's a really good roam by Fossil. I feel like if Fossil wasn't up there, based off of how Sign Me Up played that fight, he would have been able to solo kill Birdo underneath that tower. So, but it looks like they're going to try and translate that kill and that lack of teleport into that Rift Herald, especially since they just saw the dragon being taken from the winning formula.
Yeah, this is a big couple of pickups here for Solbert here. Still not entirely in their favor. Kills still favoring the winning formula. Gold still in their favor as well. 1,500 now is about the mark we're looking at. If we take a look at the overall goal, we'll get back to that. Solbert being dove under tower. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Helper gets the credit for that one, but he gets one back. The tower shot does the work.
Yeah, really good on Solbert there to get that ultimate off. That definitely was the difference maker. And then just having quality delete Fossil right there, really good. But it's a little difficult right here. You don't have that mid wave in yet.
Keep an eye out, sign me up. It's on the rotation. Grand Challenge starts up. Can he survive? It's a lot of healing. Oh my god, Lee Sinners gets the kill onto Logitech. And now this fight is all about the winning formula. It is a 2-for-1 up in the river. Taking a third, but Demo has the poke, has the CC to keep himself alive. Man, they just cannot find a victory here.
Yeah, Lee Sinners and Quality are very, very good mid jungle duo, and every time there's a play to be made, they're together. Even when they're roaming bot, going top, playing around these objectives, and just taking away camps, usually Quality is right there next to him to ensure that that play is being made, and it's being made safely. And while not as clean as game 2, you still see them controlling this map from the mid side.
Yeah, this is a little bit closer to shades of game number 1, but it's got some game 2 mixed in there, right? You can see how they're taking these fights. They are establishing themselves a lead, and it does seem to be growing this time around as well. This is what they needed in game 1. Now we're seeing a little bit of a skirmish up in top lane. Birdo is local, but with the wards down, that rotation is going to be spotted out. Sign Me Up walks away. He's going to be just fine for now. So it's just a matter of how much further can you grow this gold lead? This was blue buff being taken. It's tower planes being taken away. Solo kills every now and then coming through. Sign me up.
Yeah, oh, at this point, Aatrox is just going to run away with that. Something's going on with Logitech, and he just doesn't feel as confident as he was feeling in those previous games. And I think it all started when he lost the 1v1 to Aatrox under that top lane tower.
Oh my god, that is tragic for Quality.
Just a sliver of health left, but WLS needs to get back into this game somehow, and they need to be making plays. And surviving them isn't the answer.
Oh my gosh, what a combination there. Birdo is here. Cyclone comes through. Helper is the target. Perky can't really get past Fossil to keep the aggression going. There's a 1 kill in the bot lane. Meanwhile, up in top, Logitech finds himself one as well. And still,
yeah,
Solbert has a lot of gas left in the tank. They're still willing to take these fights.
Yeah, and they're doing well against them too. They're not just like doing anything whatsoever with the promise of not making a play. But ooh, Demo right there with that snipe.
Oh no, that is so tragic for Quality.
Yeah. Especially since you had that that gold bounty, so you're just giving that Vel'Koz the money he needs to do more damage, and that pass is extremely strong in team fights if you're not able to stop that ultimate.
Yeah, tons of damage comes through from Vel'Koz if you allow him to stack those things up. And really, even if you don't have the stacks on you before the fight, it's a lot of damage. And it'll still do a lot of work with passive there. Lee Sinners looking for another invade here. Going right past the clone, looking for the real Birdo. Doesn't quite connect with the stun. Allow Birdo to turn some of this aggression back around onto him. Lots of damage coming through there. Doesn't charge up that dash at all. Sign Me Up cannot get down because Logitech is in the way. Now their aggression has shifted focus. Sign Me Up is now the target. The Grand Challenge comes through with a stun from Quality player, but it's too little too late. Now being cut off by Demo. Where can he go? The kills are starting to roll through, and they're all for We Love Solbert. It's double kill for Logitech.
Yeah, trading those kills just for that turret that you were going to get anyway, probably not the best idea. you're just losing so
Blue
much
team's
off
turret
of
has
it.
been destroyed.
It was just a large misplay, and it's exactly what WLS needs to get back in the game, and they're gonna take that second dragon off of it.
Ocean Drake going to be looked at here. Keep an eye around that mini map, because you can see the winning formula is still here in the area. Not going to be able to steal it away. But are keeping tabs on the movement of We Love Solbert. Be able to do a whole lot there. Just going to go ahead and secure their own jungle. But this brings us back up to almost an even game state. It does still favor the winning formula. But it shows you just how quickly these things can shift.
Yeah, it's the winning formula looking like they're having ability to like keep it going. Like they need to win. Obviously, they need to win, but it looks like they're getting some like last game jitters, and it's affecting their gameplay. And it's difficult to see happen because it's almost like they don't want to win, just off of like the small mistakes that they're making here. And these weren't mistakes that happened in game 2, but they were overly prevalent in the first game.
Yeah, and it really does feel like Solbert has also cleaned up their gameplay a lot here in game 3. They understand what's on the line. They understand that this is their undefeated record that's being contested right now. And I don't know about you, Dobby, but if I have the chance to complete a season undefeated, I'm not about to just give that up without a fight here. And fighting has certainly been the name of the game throughout this series. Logitech can sign me up once again, just duking it out. But it's all to establish priority around this Rift Herald. Keep an eye on that river. You can see Fossil and Birdo up there.
Yeah, the Rift Herald doesn't. They got the second Rift Herald. They need to translate that somewhere. I would go top. Anything to open up the map for Logitech, just so that you have the ability to let her split push and be safe around the map, and then she can start focusing to the bot side. But sign me up, playing really aggro. I think he sees the low tower, wants to say, and it could translate into another solo kill for Fiora. But there's not a lot on the map right now, except for these outer turrets. So just making a play around them, and we'll see what happens. But if they get over aggressive, it could go really bad because of the fact that they have the counter engage.
Oh boy. Well, there's the full engage coming out from the winning formula. They go right on in and find 2 immediately. The tower, though, still stands strong. Logitech has made the rotation, teleported down, looking for some more life form. Disintegration Ray erases Helper from this fight. Cyclone not going to find too much value on that one. Boy, that is a team fight from Solbert right there.
And that's exactly what you want as Solbert. Like, hey, they're in a corridor, they're standing there. Let's just hit them for free.
Quality steps up just a little too far there. Ends up paying the ultimate price for that one. And now, look at where all this aggression is. It's We Love Solbert pushing forward, finding momentum. I'm gonna push down to tier 2 with it, but they've kept their tier 1 alive, which means less gold for the winning formula.
Yep. This is such a scrappy game. They're not giving it away. Like you were talking about the undefeated season, even though they just lost the last game. Like, there's only so much that you can do. You want to have that 9-0 record on the scoreboard, yeah. But at this point, you just need to shore up, because you do want to win, but the winning formula has shown us that they are beatable, and they're not, like, prone to these mistakes either. And even if the winning formula loses, they still have shown the formula to anyone that they play against. You focus the bot side of the map, don't lose top side, and you're gonna win the game. Here you see both of those things happening. They have lost the top side and won and lost the bot side. So whatever they can, I thought he was about to kill himself.
I did too.
So that's why this game is so close, because they're doing well on one side, doing bad on the other. But even their losing lane is still going to be impactful just because of that encore and that hostile takeover. And those things stacking on top of each other are going to have a great amount of CC that can prevent the winning formula from doing any damage. And I can't wait to see those things in action. But as long as the winning formula plays their team smartly, gets onto demo, preventing him from doing anything, then I see this as a 2-1 going the winning formula.
See the dragon being started up here by the winning formula. I'm gonna go ahead and secure it quickly as well. No contest from We Love Soulbirds. Surprises me just a little bit here. You can now see, once again, another skirmish between Sign Me Up and Logitech. I bet you never saw that one coming. These two just love fighting. Keep an eye on the rest of the winning formula. They're rotating their way up this river, looking to cut off Logitech and Birdo. They want to find themselves some picks. They want to play for the Baron here. Stun doesn't quite connect, but the aggression now goes onto Logitech. Magnet Storm comes through, and it's a big shutdown onto the Fiora. Birdo trying to make his way out of this one, but Perky the Parrot gets disintegrated. Demo finds the return kill, making it a 1-for-1 across the board on both sides here. No advantage given. An eye on Birdo. They do look to be hunting for a little bit more. Recognize that this is just the time to call things off. Disengage, reset, and try again later.
Yeah, what was initially a really good play backfired off of them. Like, getting that shutdown on the Fiora was such a big deal, but then giving away a shutdown to Demo, not ideal. Yeah. But we have Dragon coming up, not Dragon, we have Baron coming up soon, so probably going to put a lot of emphasis in getting that vision around there. And any pick they can make as they do that will do wonders for them. But you still have the secondary turrets in the lanes. Well, inner turrets for the lanes. And then maybe split pushing or doing something around that. Anything to open up the map more would be beneficial.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when you have something like this Fiora against you, you have to have an answer ready for it, right? Whether that's sending someone to stop the split push or just taking things on the map. It seems that my question will just be answered here as Sign Me Up is the one to rotate, but Killer Instinct also comes through, and they send Perky the Parrot. Logitech no longer in this one. Fossil gets absolutely erased from this map. That is 2 down on We Love Soulbird. This could open up the Baron right there for the rest of the winning formula. Still, Lee Sinners is hunting, looking for a little bit more, wants Demo. Disintegration rate comes through here. Not going to have enough damage.
And it just tickled these Sinners there. And that, just not being able to translate that into anything, but like extremely good that that Perky was able to stop that push, and it looks like took that bot side third as well.
Man, they do get the tower. Get a little bit baited out there by Birdo. The CC chain was coming through, and looks like they weren't 100% sure if they had managed to correctly CC chain him before he got over the wall or not. Luckily for Birdo, he's still alive. How long can we say that for? Cyclone comes through. Lee Sinners now looking for Demo here. Lots of damage. He finally gets that shutdown. But down here by the red buff, things are going awry. Logitech has respawned. Shut down Perky the Parrot. Flash over the wall. They're looking for Sign Me Up. And sign him up they do. But they sign him up for death.
That's Baron. That's got to be Baron right there.
Grayscale is a cold embrace. So now get to watch this Baron burn.
They're doing so well, but they got caught out in Soulbird's jungle. Nah, he's inside.
Nah.
He's gotta get out. There's nothing you can do to steal. He doesn't have flash for ultimate. This is Soulbird's Baron, and we'll see how they translate that going into it, and if they're able to get anything off of it. But just being able to deny that objective from the winning formula is also very, very good for them.
Yeah. And really, this game is still so close. They can do a lot with this Baron. This is by no means just an, okay, we got Baron, we can defend our base now. They still have towers up. They're only about 1,500 gold behind. They can make some real pushes. They can make aggressive plays with this and look for this next dragon. Winning Formula just took way too long. Hunting for Demo, though, to capitalize on what the picks they had would have given them.
Yeah, they went really hard onto Demo, and the rest of the team just couldn't catch up before they were caught. And that was really, really tragic for them. But as long as they're able to prevent them from getting anything off of this Baron buff, they're going to be able to survive it. The gold, yes, they started to create this 4K lead, but they've been sitting on average this entire game about 1,000 away. So it's not over for them yet, but it's not going as well as they needed to.
Yeah, this is anyone's game at this point, quite honestly. Logitech looking for a little bit of aggression there, not able to find it. This dance around the Drake really tells you the story of how close this game is, but they may have found their opportunity. Sign Me Up is a little bit too far away from the rest of his team. Logitech used the Grand Challenge. And now the World Ender also comes through here. They're looking to try to find this one. The flash comes through, but it's an overshoot. Logitech simply dashes behind him. Can he find it? No, he cannot. Logitech starts this fight off with a big kill. Helper now gets melted down. The jungler can claim that life for themselves. The remaining three have to back away. They can't fight this into the Baron buff team. Not even Demo is a target for Lee Sinners at this point. This dragon goes the way of Sulfur.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Fiora was 1-4 at one point and is now 8-6. Just dominating the side lane, and Sign Me Up missing these flashes as he tries to skirmish is not doing him any favors. And split pushing Aatrox, I don't think beats a split pushing Fiora, even if you have the Hull Breaker. So just really hard misplay.
Yeah, that's just not going to go quite as well. You can try, but I feel like this Hull Breaker is more just to be able to match Logitech in whatever lane he's deciding to split push in. Just likely, you're going to be sending Sign Me Up there by himself, not going to have any help around, so still getting the Hull Breaker stats. So far hasn't really been working super well. We've still had to see some help come in for Sign Me Up. Originally it was Perky the Parrot, Killer Instincting in, finding the kill. I don't know. I don't know if it's just to buy time for someone to rotate. It's a tough situation the Winning Formula finds themselves in. But you have to look at the silver line as well. They are still leading the game in gold. Haven't completely lost their advantage. Still have plenty of momentum to carry through this game.
But you see both teams, they're hesitating to make any plays right now.
Yeah.
That Baron buff is gone. There's no other objective on the map except turrets, and no team wants to make the play that, like, the game-losing play.
Right.
But it
this
looks
is
like
a big rotation. Voice Seeker doesn't quite connect, but that's not going to matter. It is a shutdown.
It's
going the way of
huge
Perky
shutdown.
the Parrot. I think
Yeah.
if you want it on anyone, that's certainly a big name for it.
Yeah, Lee Sinners is on that Viego is pretty fed already, and just putting, I would say putting a lot of extra gold onto the Aatrox isn't necessary, but making sure that one of your carries there is able to like output more damage. 600 gold, pretty big deal.
Well, once again, we're seeing this hesitation, right? Neither team really wanted to look at that fight. Winning Formula doesn't want to commit to taking down that tower, even though it's very low at this point. They saw 3-4 people on the right side there near those wolves, which to me always feels like the worst place to come out of as a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's so easy to get caught there by whoever's running up. But the Winning Formula just had no interest in even looking at that.
Yeah, this is just a game of who's gonna make what mistake first at this point. Like, we're not seeing anything happen. We're just farming, trying to get these item spikes, get our third item spikes on these champions. Just anything, getting ready for it. But we got Baron spawning in a minute, Dragon spawning in 2. It's not going to be quiet for long. These teams need to start prioritizing vision so you're not fighting blind. As soon as you walk into any corridor, no vision, you're going to get caught, and then you're going to lose the game for your team. Getting that flash out of Damo extremely good, especially with his objectives coming up. Now he's not going to be safe going into it, and that's going to be your target, since everyone else will have full summoners.
Now, we've seen Demo be the target before, though, right? And it kind of led the winning formula astray. They go a little bit too deep for him. They get the kill, but it leaves the rest of the team wide open to the collapse from We Love Solbert. How much can you really invest into killing Demo on this Vel'Koz?
Well, I mean, every other champion has the ability to get out of it. And as long as you're not doing what you did last time, which was just chase him without paying attention to the other 4 people killing your team, I think you're going to do well. But we see everyone sitting up here at the top side of the map, looking at around Baron. So, like, we should probably be seeing a Baron play. The winning formula doing good things. They're finally getting these priority waves in the mid and top. They're controlling it, not just letting Solbert do what they want and losing that advantage. But they're immediately starting that Baron.
Yeah, they do have some vision here as well. We Love Solbert, that is. But this is pretty incredibly fast. That is just gone. Now Logitech's going to try to flash in, look to try to take Baron off of 1. But here comes the rest of the team in the mid lane. Helper walking and trying to help Lee Sinners, but the light from Disintegration Ray is in a great spot for Perky. The Parrot dives on in, finds the kill, shuts him down, and Perky is just ripping this team apart. 3 dead in the mid lane. That's the Baron. That is Perky the Parrot. And that is mid lane gone.
Yeah, Perky doing so much work there, and Lee Sinners as well. They're just dominating this team, immediately getting that inhibitor. No questions asked. Probably going to get at least one of these turrets here.
Gosh, they have to be very careful. We Love Solbert has already lost Logitech. If they lose Birdo, this could just be the end of the game. He's pushed all the way back into the fountain right now. Perky the Parrot, though, in a very aggressive position. But goodness, look at the damage. They've done it. The winning formula has found their equation, and they have put We Love Solbert back into the dirt. They're going to playoffs.
Yeah. The winning formula, absolutely great there. Extremely well orchestrated team fight. Lee Sinners, definitely a MVP of the entire series. Not such a good first game, but definitely carried the second game. Did great work here into the third. And yeah, they defeated the undefeated going into playoffs. Now, this won't affect Solbert's seeding as they have the head-to-head versus Travelers. But now everyone knows that they can be beaten, and playoffs is definitely going to be extremely spicy.
Yeah, I mean, the winning formula, they are your underdog story here. They are the dark horse riding into this playoff series. I don't think a single team was expecting that they would need to be facing the winning formula here in these playoffs, but they just came through. They pulled ahead, they found what they needed, and they put paper into practice, Dobby. That's going to do it for the game. Don't go anywhere just yet. I know you've all been very excited. There's been big flashes and explosions on the screen. I'm taking a moment to dial things back a little bit. We'll be right back with an interview from one of the winning players. back, everyone. You watched them play, you got to cheer for them, or perhaps even cheer against them, depending on who you're the bigger fan of. The end of the match here, it is the winning formula who came up with the winning formula, surprisingly enough. Now we're going to hear a little bit from the jungler, who was a key player in, honestly, I'd say all three of those games. We've got Lee Sinners joining us here. And Lee, all I can ask you really is, how does it feel to be in playoffs?
Oh, it feels amazing. Also, I don't think we're locked for playoffs yet, by the way. Travelers still has to win for us to be locked. So there could be a situation where we don't make playoffs, but I think it's well deserved, and hopefully Travelers pulls through for us. And today was definitely like everyone came in with the mentality that we were going to win. We played against Solbert's team before, not this exact iteration, but before in Risen, and we know Solbert, so I don't know. We all came in with a good mentality, and I think everyone performed really well today. This was honestly our best series all year, and everyone kind of stepped up, as well as me having two insane games.
Yeah,
So-
definitely had that solo carry performance in both those games, the bedrock of your team there, and you did extremely well. But talk about like your transition process, because game one definitely didn't go in your favor.
Yeah, so game one, it was really interesting. I think, again, our AD carry was a little bit tilted. He was kind of tilted that we weren't playing for what we wanted to play for. Like, we had a very team fighting comp where we wanted to set up objectives, but we let them get all their early objectives. And after that game, like instantly, we were just talking about game two. I told my mid that I wanted him to pick a mage, which was the first major transition. And I also asked for the Karthus ban because I think that, or not, I think that opens me to play Viego, because Viego into Karthus is terrible, and they refused to ban, which I think is actually a huge reason we won the series.
Yeah, I was definitely in favor of the Karthus ban, talking about it in the first game as well. But how do you feel like playing against the Solbert there? Scary, unchanged.
Uh, I wouldn't say I was scared. I think I was a little bit nervous because we weren't locked for playoffs, and also because their team had only dropped one singular loss in the entire season in 8 weeks. So I was a little bit nervous against the team, but we've seen, at least I've personally seen, the Perky Solbert matchup and how that goes. So I was confident that our bot was gonna win pretty much every game.
So going into this, knowing they'd only dropped a single game, how does that game two victory affect the mental state of the team as a whole?
Uh, I would say it was pretty much just Cloud9 for everyone, because we finally like Perky was super upset that we weren't performing how we usually do and how we knew we could. So once we finally got it together, and Perky in game 2 draft also just said like, I just want to smash bot lane. Like, we're just gonna pick something and just like permafight bot lane. And my mid laner was saying we're just gonna play like psychos. And it worked out insanely well for game 2 too, because that was the game that we just like kind of, took a long time, but we kind of rolled over all the objectives
yeah.
and all the fights. So
Yeah, game two was extremely clean from you guys, showing up a lot of those issues you had in game one. But like in game three, Solbert matched you guys aggression for aggression. And how did you maintain your mental fortitude into that win?
um I would say we felt, even though that it was a scrappy game for sure. I think we felt that we were in control for most of the game and really knew what we wanted to do. The only time that it really started to sink in that like, oh, this game might be lost, is when I actually like made like one of my only mistakes in the Viego games, and I basically forced my AD carry and my mid laner into a position where Fiora had a flank on them and they were unable to help me, and they both just died and we lost Baron off that. Then we kind of had to claw our way back in, and the mentality went from like, okay, we made playoffs, we got this, to like, oh shit, like everyone focus up, we need to like and play. We just started talking about the next fight. And I think a big thing that helped us get our mental back is that they just kind of gave us Baron. I don't know why they didn't fight. I even saw on the stream as it was ending, they had triple TP. So I think they have to force that, or otherwise we just get that momentum back. And it really was the Baron momentum that actually just won us the game.
Well, congratulations, listeners. Hopefully, we get to see you guys in playoffs after that stunning performance you gave us.
Don't
Have
worry
any
about
shout outs you want to give anyone?
Don't worry about that. You'll see us in finals 100%. And also, yeah, I want to shout out Jungle Zohair, not my mid laner, but he's the reason I'm a Viego one trick as well. So, you know,
Well,
Thank you so much, Lee. Congratulations once again. And thank all of you for joining us here today. Make sure you stay up to date with everything that's going on in Risen because, as you may have picked up by now, we are getting ready to head into the playoffs. So, this is going to be the time to be here. You don't want to miss anything that's happening. It's going to be the best teams against the best teams. Make sure you're here, and we'll see you there next time. We're signing off.